All right, Krystal, what are you taking a look at today?
So I don't know if y'all have noticed, but the modern GOP doesn't really stand for a whole lot of anything these days. I mean, quietly, they certainly still fight for the same corporate tax cuts and neocon wars that they have long supported. But publicly, they're not quite so confident about going to bat for the economic protection of the wealthiest among us. Instead, they've really staked their entire political project on one big theme: cancel culture. The idea that all of these stick-in-the-mud liberals are using authoritarian tactics to silence debate, ban books, pull Twitter accounts, and fire wrong thinkers. So I was shocked to see the right leap in lockstep to cancel an American athlete for daring to protest. Just kidding, of course. Hypocrisy on speech issues is literally par for the course for all partisans who fully support censorship, so long as it only applies to their ideological enemies. So here's the story this time. Olympic hammer thrower Gwen Berry, she secured her spot on the U.S. Olympic team with a bronze medal finish. As the national anthem played while Berry was on the podium, she turned her back to the flag and towards the stands and placed a t-shirt over her head that read "Activist Athlete." Now, apparently the action wasn't actually fully planned. Berry had thought that the anthem would be played before she took the podium. In any case, she explained her actions by saying that, quote, "My purpose and my mission is bigger than sports. I'm here to represent those who died due to systemic racism. That's the important part. That's why I'm going. That's why I'm here today." Now, maybe you support the statement, maybe you don't. Here's the thing about the First Amendment. You don't have to like what a person is saying or support the cause they're backing to believe in their right to protest. But of course, some of the very same people who appear in Fox News segment after Fox News segment hand-wringing about censorship immediately melted down over Berry's protest and called for her to be canceled. For example, here is Dan Crenshaw calling for Berry to be banned from the Olympic team.
She turned her back on the flag during the anthem, and she also put a black T-shirt over her face that said, "Activist Athlete."
We don't need any more activist athletes. She should be removed from the team. The entire point of the Olympic team is to represent the United States of America. That's the entire point. Okay, so it's one thing when these NBA players do it. Okay, fine, we'll just stop watching. But now the Olympic team, and it's multiple cases of this. They should be removed. That should be the bare minimum requirement: is that you believe in the country representing. But look.
Now, I'm old enough to remember a time when Congressman Crenshaw was distraught about cancel culture. You can throw his tweet there up on the screen. He's passionately arguing, as he does here, that we need to cancel culture. He was far from the only hypocrite here, though. Here's Mike Huckabee with a similar sentiment, saying that Berry's protest was disgusting, and also calling for her ban, saying she doesn't deserve to wear the same flag as those who died for her arrogant, childish stunt. What can we do to push back against this authoritarian instinct to silence all dissenters? Well, let's ask Governor Huckabee.
Brandon writes, Mike Huckabee, what do you think it's going to take to reverse the cancel culture trend?
You know, I'm going to tell you, it's simpler than people think it is. It's standing up and saying no.
Thank you for that, Governor. That's the wrong camera, guys.
What's going on today?
Ready? Thank you for that, Governor. Naturally, Peter Doocy was already at the White House press briefing with a question on Gwen Berry to feed into Fox's latest addition to the culture war.
Gwen Berry, who hopes to represent the United States as an Olympian on the hammer throwing events, won a bronze medal at the trials, and then she turned her back on the flag while the anthem played. Does President Biden think that is appropriate behavior for someone who hopes to represent Team USA?
It's not like there's anything important going on, guys, like bombs being dropped in Syria, numbers of hungry Americans suddenly jumping upwards, or preparations underway to literally sell off the nation's public infrastructure. All of these instances of hypocrisy, though, they really just give away the game. They aren't opposed to cancel culture and censorship. They just want to be the ones who are doing the censoring. And for most of American history, conservatives have, in fact, been in charge of doing most of the censoring. And the fact that there's any slippage in this power is now cause for a complete meltdown. But liberals are not getting off the hook in this monologue either. So, over on YouTube, Right Wing Watch, a channel that reposts content from right-wing sources in an attempt to expose conspiracy theories and fringe views and bigotry, they were permanently banned from YouTube for a few hours yesterday before ultimately being reinstated. Now, first of all, let me just say, given all that we just discussed with Gwen Berry, Wasn't holding my breath for principled conservatives to complain about this censorship, and they didn't. And second of all, let me make the obvious point that anyone on the pro-censorship left who thought this crop wouldn't come for them too was a fool. Right-Wing Watch having their channel temporarily banned is far from the first instance of left content being pulled from these platforms. But in addition, Right-Wing Watch's brief cancellation presents a vexing and confusing problem. You see, the entirety of their channel was simply reposting verbatim right-wing content from other locations. And it is the position of quite a few liberals that while the original right-wing content should be banned, the repost of that very same content by Right-Wing Watch should for some reason be allowed. So again, by this thinking, the good guys should be allowed to post the very same content that is disallowed for the bad guys. Now, I don't personally feel excited about letting our tech oligarchs make these kinds of determinations of moral character and of intent. For the right, they take the exact opposite position. They're either silent or happy that Right-Wing Watch was temporarily banned, but they would be outraged and going on Fox News to complain if the original content were banned. Again, it's the same content, just posted by different channels. So what I've come to realize with all of this is that actually liberals and conservatives have exactly the same position on the issue of cancel culture. They like it when it serves them, and they hate it when it doesn't. The right happens to be savvy enough to adopt the language of freedom while pushing for authoritarianism. Liberals are more honest that they actually do want censorship by big tech of their ideological opponents, but they offer a more politically stupid framing of that same position. So it all comes down to this. If you are confident that given a free and fair hearing, your ideas will actually win, then fight for openness. The right to put those ideas in front of the American people on an equal playing field. The terrible instinct to try to work the rest and rig the rules, that comes from a lack of confidence that you're offering anything that can stand on its own merits. It says everything about the bankruptcy of mainline Democrats and mainline Republicans that they would rather silence dissent than have to actually make a compelling case. And I thought this brief thing with the right. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.